I don't know how to put into words that, like, he's exaggerating so much that it doesn't really need to be changed in the movie, though. The movie is great and all, but, like, what the fuck, man? That's completely insulting. Hey guys, Ethan here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be reacting together about a video called Everything Wrong with Ghostbusters Afterlife. Alright guys, so it's been very long since I've done a reaction video like this. So I'm going to be reacting to this video, including the content creator, just a little bit about the downsides of it though. So this content creator he does like point out a lot of the critical points, like the downsides of it though, which I don't believe is necessary at all. I don't think it is. The way he calls out the downsides of the movie, it's really dumb and completely absurd in my opinion. And the way he lists it out though, it's pretty much petty. It doesn't really need to be addressed out at all though. I don't think it needs to be pointed out. So I'm gonna be kind of given portions of the video to react, and I'll pretty much discuss it right afterwards. I'm not really gonna show the entire video because the video is like pretty damn long, like around like 20 minutes or more, which is too long for me though, and I don't believe you guys don't want to go through the entire segments. But if you guys want to go through the entire segments yourself, I'll leave a link down below. But I'm just gonna talk about just the portions of it. But anyway, let's get into the video.
52 seconds of logos! If this gate is closed, how did Egon get to the mine without already crashing through or opening it? Either way, this currently closed gate is all kinds of nonsense. I'm in a high-speed chase that requires all my focus and attention right now, but let me make sure that the classic Ghostbusters trap is still under the blanket that I covered it with. Yep, sure is. I hope Ghostbusters fans are happy. Egon not only survives this wreck, he's able to run away from it virtually unharmed. Also, the evil spirit that just ran down a speeding truck is somehow slow to attack when Egon is on foot. Just going to go ahead and say that this character did not have to be Egon. This could have been Ray, or a new character entirely. How come no one in the room where the f***ing Ghostbusters Afterlife pitch happened said, maybe having Egon be a part of the story will become problematic by the end is f***ing astonishing. Okay, now let me fish out my PKE meter, which, if you remember, detects ghosts when you don't know exactly where they are. But even though I know the ghost is directly outside, I figured I'd pull it out anyway. I hope Ghostbusters fans are happy. How does he even have time to hide this trap? The ghost was literally right behind him. Why is this ghost so f***ing shitty at his job? I guess this is one of the devil dogs from the first movie making a return here, but I'm trying to figure out how it got out in the first place. Later in the movie, we're going to see that Egon set up a security system around the temple to prevent Gozer and their minions from rising up. So when did this devil dog find a way to get out of that? How did Egon know they would return? By the end of this, you'll get an explanation for what Egon was trying to do, but no idea how it got to this point in the first place. Now I will die, very much the same way Sigourney Weaver got possessed in the first movie. This even looks like the same chair. What happens in this movie and the original movie aren't congruent at all, but here's a lot of the same shit. Anyway, I hope Ghostbusters fans are happy. This poor family. The mom has to give her own son haircuts. Daughter is stealing power from the neighbors, and the landlord is about to evict him. What are they going to do to get out of this pickle? Oh, her dad left her his old house in Oklahoma, and even though they don't get any money out of it, their living situation is no longer an issue. Whew, I was worried all those struggles were going to be a problem. Cool.
And you didn't think to ask me?
I mean, you just demonstrate zero aptitude for science.
Got it.
One department this movie did a pretty good job in was casting. Carrie Coon and McKenna Grace are so f***ing good, they trick you into thinking you're watching a quality film at times.
Phoebes, be a dear and break into your grandfather's house.
So wait, she was officially named in the will to receive this house and didn't even get a key for it?
Alright guys, so I paused right there for that long, and the reason why is because I don't want to go too far in the video. I'm pretty sure you guys would have gotten bored of that. Plus, I didn't want to keep hearing that ding 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 ding, like all those critical like flaws, basically. That's what I would call it, because there's no point of pointing out the flaws anyway. Even if there was flaws, I still wouldn't give it a low rating for the movie. I honestly, I wouldn't. But the way like he addressed that stuff, like, it doesn't need to be like pointed out at all. It's just completely petty in my opinion, though. In fact, like, no matter how much he just tries to phrase everything like that, though, it doesn't really need to be like that at all. It honestly does not. But there's still more. There's actually a lot more, but I'm not really going to show you guys the entire video. I'm going to show you guys another portion that I believe this doesn't need to be addressed like that at all. I don't think it doesn't need to be. But continuing on.
Good question, but the more important question is how can Phoebe support the pack on her back? The proton packs are supposed to weigh around 100 pounds. Phoebe and Podcast survived this. In fact, this is so f***ing ridiculous, I'm giving a sin for each of them surviving. Discount Slimer. Now we're back to Trevor working on the car. I honestly don't know what makes this guy a car expert. I mean, he was watching a movie with a car in it the first time we saw him, but nothing about him screams grease monkey. Nothing about his current situation suggests he needs a car, especially in this small town where you can apparently push a bike everywhere you go but not ride it. I guess it's lucky he cares, since the movie needs this car later. Yeah, first time I get in a car, the first thing I think to do is drive through a field of tall grass. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Also, even if I would buy that Trevor could fix this car with a little elbow grease and the desire to succeed, I'm not buying that these tires aren't all rotted out. There would be more tread flying all over the place than grass at this point.
In the 1980s, New York City was attacked.
Yeah, no, I know the Manhattan ghost stories.
Well, if that's the case, how come Trevor didn't recognize the Ghostbusters logo on the car or just realize he was fixing up the Ecto-1?
All units were getting reports of, well, some kind of animal taking a bite out of Steve Fletcher's truck.
Who the would think Muncher was some kind of animal? You can see right through him. If Muncher is this hungry all the time, why would it just take a bite out of the garbage cans? Why wouldn't it eat all of them? This Muncher ghost takes the Prometheus school of running away from things to a new level by taking the extra credit flight school. Phoebe somehow manages to not kill anyone during this entire sequence. Even though he's never seen or been in this car before, Podcast knows to do this. So, are there any cops in this town? You'd think they'd have been alerted since there's a ghost going around eating metal in broad daylight in front of everyone and kids driving a Cadillac through the downtown corridor. Oh, you. In 1984, it took 3 Ghostbusters to get Slimer into the trap, and they were shooting their proton packs the whole time. Now, apparently one person can use the pack, turn it off in the middle of the arrest, and it still works?
So, once again, like, I see he's listing more and more flaws about the movie, which I don't believe it's necessary. It's completely absurd and still pretty petty in my opinion, though. Because the amount that he's given off, though, like the amount of criticism he's given, though, is just very, very little that it doesn't have a huge impact on the movie. Like, it honestly does not, though. In fact, the way he described those 2 actors, like, given 2 sins, that's like a child, like, exaggeration type of thing. I don't know how to put into words, though. Like, he's exaggerating so much that it doesn't really need to be changed in the movie, though. The movie is great and all, but, like, what the fuck, man? That's completely insulting. Gosh. Like, I don't understand, like, what he's trying to claim here, but what he's trying to claim isn't really worth it at all. If the writers want it that way, there's no point of, like, tell them, like, oh, we gotta do this, oh, we gotta just do that. There's no point. If the writers want it that way, I'd rather just leave him be, because they're the ones responsible, and they can fix their own mistakes, though. But anyway, I'm not really going to go too far into that. I don't really want to go too far ranting and try to burst out. But I'm going to go on one more clip that I believe needs to be addressed at the end. So, stay tuned.
I thought the rule was no gatekeeper, no gozer. But now they're trying to tell me that there's a gozer, just one that's not as powerful. You can't be changing up the gozer rules on me, man. F***ing what? These marshmallow men were inside the proton pack, sabotaging it this whole time, and they didn't make a beep. That's a solid pun right there. Let me start over. Fucking what? These marshmallow men were inside the proton pack sabotaging it this whole time and they didn't make a peep? These assholes don't have the ability to stay quiet. How the fuck are they in here right now? Lucky now becomes the gatekeeper, and I have no idea how any of this works. Can any asshole be the gatekeeper if the original gatekeeper and keymaster already goes into existence? Well, that's the thing about lightning. It's super slow.
Hey, Flat Top! Have you missed us?
Here's the thing. Any excuse to get these three together again is a happy occasion. I'm all for it. But doing it in this way and making it look like you pulled them out of 80s movie character storage doesn't gel with me.
Are you a god?
37 years building up to this moment, and Ray hesitates instead of confidently saying yes, or doing the PG-13 one rule with a yes.
She's uncrossing the streams!
Yeah, how about that? That would actually be worth an explanation, but there's only 7 minutes left, so I guess it is what it is. At this point, why is Gozer hesitating to kill them all? Also, why doesn't Gozer need the Destructor this time? Well, the whole point of this deity was to bring on the end of the world by mutating into whatever passing thought enters someone's head. Movie steals its finale from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Come on, Phoebe!
Yes, Phoebe, just believe your proton pack is better than the demon spirit's Palpatine power.
So, from what I get from that, like, I get what he's trying to say, though, but from my perspective, though, it's just not really worth it at all. It's just very little criticism, like, very little flaws that they have. Like, it's just barely going to have an impact on the movie that it's not really going to matter in the future, because the movie's already been done, though. There's no point of, like, redoing the entire thing at all. The movie is great. It's a wonderful masterpiece, and I give the writers 1,000% of props for that. But from his perspective, like, it's very petty still, and hardly anyone's gonna notice that type of flaw in the movie, but it's really not gonna matter at all. Because tell you guys this, though, the truth is, a lot of movies are gonna be like that, though. So even if, like, there's like another, for example, How to Train Your Dragon or something like that, like, if that movie is great, though, then there's no point of criticizing those flaws that they have in there. There's no point. Even if they missed a picture or like a new existing Easter egg that exists in the previous movies that they missed, it's not really worth it. It really isn't. But overall, I don't agree with this guy saying, though. In fact, it's just very little. It's just not really gonna have a big impact in the future at all. So I will give this rating something that you guys would not be ready for, but I'm going to give this rating this. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that reaction video. What were your thoughts on this, though? Because I really had to get this out and try to get everything out of my chest to address this, because I don't believe this shouldn't have been pointed out at all. Anyway, love and light to all of you guys, and as always, stay strong out there, and I'll catch you guys another time.